Hey everybody, today's story is about coyote hunting. And I know that not everybody might approve of hunting coyotes, so I'm going to promise to keep it rated G today. I have always loved coyotes. Ever since I was a kid, when I saw a coyote, my heart would race. I just think, and I've always thought, that they're just the coolest animals out there. They're so smart and cunning and beautiful. Some of you are thinking, well, if they're beautiful, why do you want to kill them? I don't have a great answer for that. But I just admire them so much. In the 50s in the United States, humans tried to eradicate all the coyotes, and it wasn't possible. It didn't happen. They can adapt and live anywhere. And I'm fortunate enough that I live in a place where there's lots of coyotes, and I get to hunt them, and I absolutely love it. I've had some really cool experiences when hunting them. One time I had my son Luke with me. He was only about 10 years old, and I wanted to watch him when we were calling in coyotes. So you use a call that sounded like a wounded animal, and coyotes come running to you. And so I wanted to see Luke, and so he was sitting facing me and I was facing him. We weren't very far apart, and we were out in the desert and we were calling, and all of a sudden Luke's eyes just got huge and his mouth dropped, and he was looking right over my shoulder, and that's when I heard the panting of the coyote. It had come in and it was running so hard that it was panting, and it was so close that I could hear it before I saw it. It was just about 5-6 feet away from me. And it was amazing, and being that close to animals is really cool. Another experience we had was with Reed. We were out in the Waihees on the edge of a cliff overlooking a canyon, and we were calling. We were in the rocks. We were in full camouflage, and we could see out in the distance a golden eagle, the bigger one, not the bald eagle, but a golden eagle. And when we were calling, it came towards us, and it was coming right towards us, and it came right over the top of our heads and landed behind us, only about 20 feet. It was a huge bird. It was probably this big, and with those great big talons and a beak about that big. And it was sitting there behind us, and we were just kind of like checking it out, like, oh my goodness, this is cool. Well, then it sat there for a little bit, and when it took off, it came back over our heads, and I swear I could feel the feathers hit the top of my head. It went so close. Huge bird, huge wingspan, just incredible. And so that was a really neat experience too. Another time, I had another bird land very close to me, just the opposite though. It was a tiny little sparrow. It was only like this big. And I was sitting in the desert in my camouflage. I wasn't calling, and the sparrow landed on my shoulder. It thought I was a bush or a rock, and so it kind of startled me at first, and then I slowly turned and looked at it, and it at the same time it turned and looked at me, and its eyes, I could see its eyes get big. Our faces were only this far apart, and then its eyes got big and it took off really fast. But the experiences I've had while doing that are really cool. And I feel like I have to honor this animal that I love. It needs to be controlled by hunting and harvesting them. But I take a lot of pride and care in fur. Fur is something that I have always been enthralled with. I read books when I was a kid on, trappers in the Bridger Teton Wilderness and Jackson Hole area, and trapping lynx up in Canada and beaver in Jackson Hole. And fur to me is always just something that I've loved. And so when I harvest a coyote, I take care of the fur. There's a drying process. I sew it, I comb it, and then I sell it. And I don't really sell it to make money, but I just love working with the fur. And they are just beautiful, beautiful animals. A lot of people don't realize that, but just amazing. This one, I had 6 coyote hides, and I took them to the place in Caldwell to to sell them. I had intentions of bringing home some money, and I walked in, and this coyote hide was already tanned, and it was hanging there. This great big male, beautiful coyote. Look at that tail there. And I couldn't resist. I traded all 6 of my coyote hides for this one that was already tanned. And I walked out of there with this thing, and it's been hanging on this bookcase ever since, and I've really enjoyed it. So it's November 1st, and this Saturday I woke up early like I always do, even on accident, and I thought I could go coyote hunting today. But I really didn't feel like it. It's just getting ready and getting out there early. I just wasn't feeling it. But then I thought of the one thing that I would get to do is I would get to see the sunrise. I know it sounds corny, but if you looked at my phone after a coyote hunt, you would always see pictures of the sunrise, which is something I get to do. I'm just sitting out there in the desert, which is beautiful, and enjoying the sunrise. Seeing coyotes is awesome. I saw 2 the other day while I was hunting. I didn't get any shots, but it was awesome to see them. But I get to see cool things like the sunrise. So there you have it. Thanks for listening. Bye.